Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
Are you familiar with Broil King? Well, if you're not, after this interview, I believe it will set it towards the top of your grill manufacturers to consider when you're looking to replace one of those cookers in your patio or backyard. So enjoy the interview with Terry Witzel from Broil King. Here first thing this morning, talking with Terry Witzel, who has given me a few moments. And he is one of the brother owners of Broil King. So before we talk about some of the products, Terry, maybe a little background about you and how you get into the Broil King biz.
Good morning, Greg. I have a couple of brothers, and years ago we entered our family business with our father. We stumbled across an opportunity to manufacture gas grills under contract originally for a large company in the U.S., and we had the opportunity shortly thereafter to get our own brand and own tooling, which we did in the mid-'80s. And that was originally a jacuzzi product. They were in the gas grill business, and they had a brand called Broil King. So we took their tooling and redeveloped it, brought new life to the Broil King brand. About the same time, we were involved with Weber Stephen products, and we were distributing that product line in Canada. For about 20 some odd years we did that. And at the same time, we were also building our own brand, Broil King, and selling that, which we're now selling in about 40 different countries. Very strong business in countries like Germany and Sweden and pretty much every European country. Poland is good, and Spain and Switzerland. And there's some Southern Hemisphere countries like New Zealand. We're working on resetting our business in Australia at the moment. And obviously our home markets are Canada and the U.S. We started in Canada, and along the way we purchased a couple of production facilities in the U.S., one being in Indiana and another being in Tennessee. They're both very sizable facilities. Each of those are about 400,000 square feet. They have very, very vertically integrated. We do everything. There are some globally sourced components, but for the most part, we do our own die-cast work. So all the aluminum components, we do that in Tennessee. All three plants have metal stamping, have powder coating, assembly lines. They're very self-sufficient, but in certain plants like Tennessee, we do the die casting. Indiana, we have porcelain coating. And in Canada, we plastic injection molding so that we can even produce the wheels and many of the resin components that we need in all three factories. They'll draw from Canada. So we're very, very proud to be a North American manufacturer versus the majority of our competition that is very highly reliant on China. We have good vendors in China, but we're trying to minimize the Chinese content and maximize the North American content.
When you remember back in the mid-'80s, kind of getting into it, and then eventually getting your own brand of cooker, the Broil King, looking at 2023, what have been the 2 or 3 biggest brings to the market, or changes, or advances, or evolutions, if you will, that you've seen in your time in this business?
That's a good question. I think that the product has become much more user-friendly than it had been back in the 80s. The manual system works very well. It's simple, and it's inexpensive, and today's consumer understands how to operate it really well, and they're used to it. But there is digitization of the product that's coming.
When you talk about connected products, I think it's, as you said, widely accepted. There's going to be perhaps a whole nother group of purchasers. They're going to feel a lot more comfortable in front of that grill. But from a manufacturing standpoint, are you guys worried at all about patents that some other folks have in this industry that have taken other companies to court about cloud this, Wi-Fi that, or have you done your due diligence and been able to steer clear of any of that stuff? Or is there always a potential of somebody deciding to enforce something else?
There's definitely, you have to watch what you do so that you don't get yourself into trouble. We're very, very cautious from that standpoint. You don't want to steal anybody else's intellectual property. All of the things that we do, we develop internally, and we check with our patent attorneys and to make sure that we're not, and we do our own searches, make sure that we're not infringing on anybody else's activities in the industry. So no, it's important.
As I look through the booth here, we got gas grills, we have various charcoal cookers. There's obviously pellet cookers that are right here to my left. Is there a line that's more popular than the other right now?
Gas is still the most popular. We have, in Canada, we have 5 appliance stores that my brothers and I own, and my one brother operates those stores. And we sell, through those appliance stores, we also sell outdoor cooking products. It's a very strong category for those stores. And we can see exactly what the end consumer is doing through those stores rather than relying on data we can get from our customers. We see it firsthand. And we know that gas is still in the high 60s percentage of our sales. Pellet, somewhere around 13%. So definitely, while pellet is strong, we've seen that it's leveled off a little bit. And of course, there is the odd consumer that comes in looking for the flat top type product now. You can do that with pretty much any gas grill with a griddle, but for the most part, it's a gas market, and the end consumer loves using gas. It's simple and heats up very, very fast and no mess. Really a great way to cook.
As far as the name Broil King, I'm fully aware of it, have been ever since I started the show, so 16, 17 years. I don't know if the everyday consumer, at least here in the States, is aware of it as much as Weber or Charbroil or something that they're going to see in the big box stores.
Right.
How do you work on continually pressing out the brand, telling the story digitally, and making sure that the end user is somebody that's going to have Broil King on top of mind when they're looking to execute purchase?
We haven't focused on being in the big box environment. We're not at Walmart, we're not at Costco, we're not at Lowe's, we're not at Depot. We are on many websites, but we're not looking to be on the floor in the large box stores. We like our product to be sold through independent retailers and people that really understand the product, to be able to show it to the customer, all the different features and benefits. And there are a lot of large, fancy-looking grills that are made in China, mostly with inferior materials, but we take a lot of extra care in the development of all of our products. We know that if my brothers and I are ever visiting a friend that owns one of our products, we want to be proud of what's in their backyard. It's embarrassing when we go to a friend's home and we see one of our products with corrosion or rust on it, or that flares up, or that doesn't work as it should. And so we're very, very fussy, and we spend a little extra money to make sure the product is better. We don't produce our product to a price point. We produce it to be very usable and to give the customer years and years of enjoyment. For example, we have a very large parts department with parts for grills that we produced over 30 years ago. If you need a part for a Broil King grill, you can get it. And the end consumer doesn't necessarily want to just buy a Chinese grill and throw it out. Now, they do that. There are a lot of people that are buying the throwaway grills, but we're not a throwaway grill. We're very proud of building it with good quality materials. For example, a side shelf that would be made of steel, we use a satin coat material underneath the paint. So even if you scrape the paint off, it won't rust. It's an automotive grade material, and that's used throughout the grill. every nut and bolt is either stainless steel or specially coated so that it won't rust. So it's very important that we use really good materials so that the consumer that owns our product, they're going to enjoy it for years. It'll still look good in their backyard, depending on how they care for it, and it'll stand the test of time. I've been to numerous box stores, and you've probably seen it yourself. There's a sea of Chinese grills parked out front, and they're brand new, and they're rusty. Well, our product doesn't rust when it's brand new, and doesn't rust even when it's 5 years old. Some of the internal wear components will rust, and that's just natural wear and tear. But the majority of the product is made of very, very good North American materials that will stand the test of time.
My prediction for 2023 was this is going to be the year that the full-size electric grill becomes a thing, both for manufacturers and people buying and putting them in backyards. Agree or disagree?
It's not necessarily going to be a big thing in 2023, but there's no question about it. We're aware there are several people working on electric grills, and it's going to be important for those people that don't wish to use gas, and in some cases that they can't use gas. You can't get enough power out of a regular outlet in order to give you searing capability on a full-size grill. So you'll have to put in a 220 outlet. Yeah, that's going to come. There's no question in our mind. It'll be there. Whether it's strong in 2023, I don't think so. But there will be products come to market in 23.
So to quickly follow up on that, will Broil King have one at some point within the next 24 months?
That's a good question. I guess we're going to have to wait and see.
It's a definite maybe?
We'll have to wait and see.
Terry, appreciate the time.
My pleasure.
That was President of Broil King, Terry Witzel. Hope you enjoyed the interview as much as I did actually getting it for you to listen to. Make sure you give them consideration if you're looking to replace a grill or pellet cooker. The website broilkingbbq.com. We have about 4 or 5 more of these as they'll trickle out here through the next couple weeks. Hope you're enjoying them, and we'll see you in a live show this coming Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we'll see you for the Barbecue Central Show. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.